Hi, this is Human Design Tools, and I'm Nani, and I'm going to share this explainer video all about what it means when you have a hanging gate in your human design chart and how the electromagnetics work in your chart and in the real world. First, I'm going to start with just a few basics about the human design chart. There are 9 centers. As you can see there's the head, ajna, throat, G, self. Sometimes it's called the identity center. The will center, the spleen, the ESP, which is the emotional solar plexus, the sacral center, and the root center. A defined channel is just the full line between 2 centers. As you can see here, it's the square that's on the top is the throat center, and the triangle on the lower right is the emotional solar plexus, and that line between the two is called a defined channel. And it essentially activates both centers that it touches. You can think of it as lighting them up so they're defined as well. An example would be the channel 1222. So your throat is connected to your emotional solar plexus, which is what I just talked about. And when you have the gate 12 defined and connected to the 22, you can now talk about your feelings, because 12 is about articulation and 22 is a feeling gate on the emotional solar plexus. You may be in the mood to talk or not, and you likely will share your feelings in a consistent way when you have this channel connected. Defined just means that you're going to feel this energy in a consistent way. And then you broadcast that energy out to others. So when your center is colored in, that means it's defined. And the only way that it can be colored in is if there's a line connecting the 2 centers. A hanging gate is when just half the line is filled in. So you see the 12 there off the throat center, and it's just half filled in. It's not all the way to the emotional solar plexus. That's what a hanging gate is. And it does not activate the center, but you will feel the energy of that gate in a defined way. If the center is colored in where your hanging gate is hanging off of, that can happen. It just means that the center is connected by a different channel. So if the throat was filled in, even though there was a hanging gate off of it, that center is actually activated above from the ajna because there's a full channel to the ajna. So I just wanted to point that out because you might be confused. Why is it colored, but there actually is a hanging gate? That can happen too. The 12 still has a defined way of feeling the energy, even though it's a hanging gate. This is where the beauty of human design comes in. So first off, I just want to talk about electromagnetics and what they are. I'm not an expert at this, but what I know is they're simply the physical connection that occurs between electrically charged particles. Electromagnetics are similar to the magnets on your fridge, but they're only temporary. So your magnet on your fridge, you know that it's always going to be attracted to your fridge, but the magnet in the electromagnetic field only exists when the electric current is flowing. An example of this would be a set of lights that turn on because of the flow of energy from a battery. So it's temporary, as in it will only turn on when there's a flow of energy. So if you took the batteries out, it wouldn't work anymore. So what in the world does this have to do with human design? I'm going to show you how that works in a second here. The hanging gate in the chart works like the electromagnetics. And electromagnetics are what connect you to other human beings. So how does this actually work? Here's an example of how it works in the human design chart and how it might show up in the real world. The person on the left here has a hanging gate 12, and the person on the right has a hanging gate 22. They are both like magnets attracted to each other. They want to connect. They're getting close, and they start to connect kind of like plugging into each other, like if they were 2 plugs. And they plug together, and what they do is they kind of light up the centers on either end of them for both people. So if you overlaid their chart, it would be almost like they have a full defined channel, and then now their throat and their emotional solar plexus are defined. And essentially when they are together, this is how the energy feels for them. So both people can articulate their feelings. It It can happen anywhere in the chart, and it varies depending on who you're around. So this is why you might feel differently when you're around different people, and maybe have an easier time talking about something or feeling something when you're around a different person. I'm going to leave you with just a little human design hack that has worked for me. If you need a connection of energy, but you don't know who has it, go to a coffee shop or other public place. As you see, there's many people here, and one of them probably has the energy that you need. You just need to be in close proximity. A good example of this would be if you have an open head center on the very top, which is the center for inspiration. You're feeling blocked and you don't maybe have an idea and you're trying to get an inspiration. You could go to a coffee shop and likely you're going to have tons of inspiration that come in for you. Of course, remember to always follow your strategy to decide which inspirations to do something about, but this is just a place where you can go and get some energy that you need from other people. If you want to learn more, here are some resources. You can check out human design tools at Pinterest, Instagram, the website. I also have a podcast with a partner, Roz Isbell, and it's called Essential Oils by Design. You can find it on iTunes or Stitcher, and it's all about how essential oils and human design work so beautifully together. And thank you for taking the time to watch this video.